And just like that, the last episode, or the hour mark has passed, and we are now on our next, there we go, there's Kratos. The hour mark has passed, and we are halfway through with our 2-hour recording session. So welcome back to Let's Play Red Dead I cannot say anything today. Welcome back to Let's Play Red Dead Redemption, everybody. I'm your host, MegaShadowFist. And if you saw the end of the episode, Kratos, my horse, actually died because I fell off of a cliff. But I was like, I don't want to lose another horse, so I just loaded the save. Which was luckily, like, maybe 3 minutes before where I was. So now we're going to have to start the trek all over again. Oh, well. And like last episode, which was like 2 minutes ago for me, like not even 2 minutes ago, like just a minute ago for me, I got in this really long tangent about like the origins of words and everything. I'm not gonna continue on about that, pretty much. So let's see, I need another segue. It's really hot in my room right now. Like suspiciously hot. I'm burning up in here. Well, I'm gonna have to troop it for the next 59 minutes so I can finish up my 2-hour recording session, and, you know... No, I'm not gonna help you, lady. Sorry. I'm kind of an asshole. But we did finish Nuevo Paraiso, which is good. So now, we're gonna meet Agent Ross, and I'm assuming that's we're gonna go to West Elizabeth. Which is probably the final area of the game. I imagine. So... We're probably 2/3 way finished with the game. We just have West Elizabeth, and we have to get rid of Dutch. And yeah. Anyway, now that all of that is said and done, the sun is setting. You know, that kind of reminds me of the Lion King 2, like the sky right now. It's like if you remember the Lion King 2. Like, if you look at the cover for the VHS for Lion King was blue, but the VHS cover, I said that weird, the VHS cover for Lion King 2, it was like a red cover, and it had like a sunset, basically. Anyway, at least I think it did. I remember it being red, for whatever reason. How many of you guys have seen the Lion King 2? I know that pretty much everyone's seen the first Lion King. I imagine. I mean, there's probably some people, there's one person in particular, I shan't name any names, but his name is Garcon. I've done videos with a couple times. He's pretty much like he'd probably kill me for saying this, not anti-movie, just uninterested in movies. And there are a lot of classics that he hasn't seen, and he's definitely not the only person out there like that. I know that there are a lot of people out there who aren't into movies, which is kind of... If you've been, like, I don't know if I've made it clear with, any of my videos, or with the past tweets that I've made, I'm pretty big into movies, so, I don't know. It just seems weird to me, but to each their own. I just got an email. My phone's actually getting close to dying. I need to charge it pretty soon. It's probably gonna die before this recording session is over with, but who cares? Oh, it's 4:16. It's getting really dark in here, actually. In fact, probably what I'm gonna do... Wait a minute, wasn't it just nighttime 2 seconds? Oh, no! That could have been really bad. Wasn't it just nighttime 2 seconds ago? So, like, why is it daytime all of a sudden? Alright, I'll help you. What do you need help with? These wolves? Why do I have... Oh, it's not even a lady, it's a guy. Alright, so you got you... And you... He's probably dead. Because I reacted too slow. And you... Okay. There we go. Did you a favor, sir. And I got honor for that, too. Regardless, yeah. We need to head back to Agent Rossi. And Roger and Wilco and stuff. I don't even know where I'm going with right now. Yeah, I'm gonna use a shortcut because, you know, that's what we do. We people of the world, we like to take shortcuts. Yeah, that's like a common complaint. Like, people are like, you know how like old people get you know, like, they're like, oh my god, your generation is blah 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 blah, you know, and you're gonna ruin the world, and you guys are, you know, you're not willing to work for what you're at, you're willing to take shortcuts, man. That's the thing I don't understand. It's like, why put yourself through unnecessary work if you don't have to? If you're able to find a quicker way to getting to do something, why not take advantage of that? I don't see why that's a bad thing. I mean, sure, that can lead to laziness, but, you know, in my experience, laziness isn't always a bad thing. It can actually lead to some pretty efficient ways of doing things, because, you know, that might sound weird, it might not make sense, but it actually leads to some pretty efficient ways of doing things, because if you want to do less work, oh, that could have been really bad. My horse would have died the same way that he did it last episode. If you find slow ways of doing, like, if you're able to find quick ways of doing things, you're going to be a lot more efficient, actually. So laziness isn't always a bad thing like we make it out to be, although it can be a bad thing. But, like, anyway, a different story for a different time. The other thing I wanted to make out is, like, I was recently watching The Breakfast Club, right? You know, a movie. It's on Netflix Instant Stream. It's a movie that came out in the 80s about, like, these high school kids that got put into detention, right? So those are pretty much my parents' generation. Well, essentially, well, my parents have a 7-year difference, which, from what I understand, is definitely not the norm, but it's definitely not as crazy as I've heard. Well, my dad graduated in the 70s, and then, you know, he went straight to the Air Force in 79, and then he went to college around the same time that my mother did. My mother graduated in 85, I believe. So, you know, it's pretty much like my parents' generation, like my generation's parents' generation, the 80s. And, like, you know, the adults then were saying the same thing that, like, our parents were saying. They're like, you know, these kids are going to, you know, they're going to run our country the next couple of years, and I'm really scared for our country, you know. And it's like, you know, our world's definitely not the most perfect place right now, but, you know, that generation is ruling right now, and we're not fine by any means. I mean, we're not, like, great by any means, but we're fine for the most part. And, you know, the same thing happened. Like, I was watching, like, this one cartoon from, like, the 60s. You know, they said the same thing, you know. In fact, I remember in 20th century history, there's, like, this article, you know, about these parents complaining about the the kids from the 20s. You know, if you like replace, like, jazz music with, like, hip hop, and, you know, like, slightly updated some of, like, you know, the dated terms, you would find that they say basically the same exact thing that parents say about our generation. They're like, oh my god, these gosh darn kids with their jazz music, you know, they're living immoral lives, and I don't know, I'm talking in a southern accent. They're living immoral lives, and they're gonna, like, ruin our country and stuff. And that was 90 years ago, man. The 20s. We regard, like, jazz music as, like, classic music, you know? But, you know, it's the same thing. It's like, that's why, you know, whenever, like, adults get into this, I fear for, you know, I fear for the safety of our country, you know, I don't really listen to them, because, you know, that's just a natural thing. You know, the older you get, the harder it is for you to put yourself in, like, a younger kid's shoes. You know, the older, it's like, we go about, like, you know, expecting, you know, like, 14-year-olds to not act like, we expect 14-year-olds, like, when you get closer to becoming an adult, you expect, like, a 14-year-old to act like an adult and not like an actual 14-year-old. And, of course, they're gonna make mistakes. They're just like little kids, you know? So, you know, you shouldn't, you know, judge a generation by how they are as kids. You should judge them by how they are as adults, which, you know, is a lot, you know, they're a lot, you know, you're not gonna be the same person forever. You are gonna change a little bit. Like, you might have the same hobbies and tastes and stuff, but, you know, the way you go about doing things is definitely going to change as you age and gain experience. As you grow older, you tend to mature a bit. Because as I studied... It's like, I remember as I was studying this in psychology, actually. I get into the most random tangents in this game. Or just, like, whenever I commentate in general. Like, in psychology, The teenage brain is actually different from the adult brain. The way it's set up is there's a part of the brain. The way it's areas that are like more prone, that are more responsible for like risk taking, are a bit larger than, you know, a fully developed brain. And let's see, what else? You know, there's a bunch of other things which I don't quite remember like to the full extent, so I'm not really gonna like explain it in case of like I mess up and make myself look like an asshole or a dumbass or whatever. Regardless, I don't think I've ever been this far in the map before. Is this supposed to be West Elizabeth or something? Huh. No, I think this is the train station from the beginning of the game. Yeah, this is the most civilized area I've seen so far. Oh, it took us like 11 minutes, but we finally got to Agent Ross. And actually, before I do that, I want to start this side mission. How's it going, buddy? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that one part in the demo. I haven't played BioShock Infinite, but in the demo, there's like this one guy talking about... He's like standing in the podium talking about foreigners and everything. That's what it reminds me of. How's it going, buddy?
Hello there, sir. You look like a man who can do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay.
Then looks can be deceiving, pal.
Excuse me?
Perfect. As honesty is in my business the worst policy. I work for our well-respected governor, Nate Johns.
That makes sense.
Now, there is a certain individual spreading nasty rumors about Mr. Johns. I'd like you to put a stop to this vile gossip and malingering.
Suppose I can handle that? For the right price?
Now, this individual has had the misfortune to be photographed enjoying some rather inappropriate company. Been seen with a local whore. Take these photographs to him. After you take care of business, return to me and I'll pay up the reward for your services. You're doing great things for your state, dear friend. You should be proud.
Yay! Alright, so I'm actually going to do this first before I start the next story mission. Because I've been doing, like, straight story missions, so I kind of want to... Is that flowers for a lady? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Alright, so... Where is this individual supposed to be? I'm zoomed in a bit. That's the Funny Man mission, which I still don't know how to do. If someone could explain what I'm supposed to do for that mission, because I went there... And there was, like, nothing to do at that spot for whatever reason. If you could explain what I need to do, that would be great. Interesting how they have topographical features on there, so you can see, like, mountain ranges and stuff. Let's see. Where am I on the map? I'm right there. American Lobbyist. What is this one right here? Oh, that's the other mission. I couldn't find how to do that one. Lights, camera, action. All right. So actually, on second thought, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go straight to this. But I don't want to start this in this episode. I want to start it in the next episode. Let's find ways to kill time for the next, minute. Top of the morning to ya. All right, you got Silver Skillet Cafe. What's in here? Is this place openable? No, it's. I remember when Naruto Rise of a Ninja came out, they made like it's such a big deal that you can walk into every single like building and climb on top of every single roof and everything. You know, you kind of take advantage of that now because most modern games you are able to walk into pretty much every single building. Well, not most, a lot though. But it kind of feels like dated when you have buildings which aren't even like you have like the outside rendered, but there's literally nothing going inside. Because, that's just the way it's programmed. What about here? What's in here? I can go in here. Huh. Quaint. Anyway, let's go ahead and end this episode with, yeah, you guessed it, buddies. An awkward pause. Ooh.